LinkedIn, okay. All right, we are almost there.
Matt Curcio has been selling real estate in New Jersey since 2001. He's been recognized as a top 10 individual team leader for RE/MAX multiple times. Matt was the first eXp Realty broker in New Jersey to receive the prestigious Icon Agent Award. Matt is recognized as an industry expert and continues to support agents in the real estate community by hosting trainings for realtors locally and across the country. Welcome to the show, and here's Matt Curcio.
All right. What's up? Here we are with a friend of mine, Matt. How you doing today?
I'm the other Matt.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to check in with you. You got an event coming up. Wanted to share with the real estate community. You know, I love sharing events where people can learn. As a young agent, I always found it very helpful in my career to go out and find information. And back in 2003, I started doing short sales because we would actually help investors find houses to buy through that. And then eventually the market, turned to where everybody had to learn about short sales. And it seems like that's going to happen again. So with that being said, Matt Merenoff is a short sale expert, has a company called RealEstate Recovery Group. They're doing a big expo this week. And let's start off by, Matt, why don't you tell us about yourself, your history with real estate, and everything else?
I actually first of all, Matt, thanks so much for having me on there. I appreciate it. I like the whole intro thing you got going on there was I didn't know how long it was going to be. So I've been in real estate since early 2000. I actually ran a professional for-sale by owner service, helping people sell the properties privately. And then that was very interesting, to say the least. And then after that, towards the end of 2004, 2005, I switched over to, getting involved in short sales. And I never looked back. I never went to any other direction. I wasn't selling like, the juices and the coins and the cards and all that other stuff,
right.
And the cryptic stuff. And I just stuck with it for 15 years. And I built a huge following, not only in the state of New Jersey where I reside with my family, but nationally. 2015, we started helping people on a national level, whereas homeowners, real estate agents, investors, we get phone calls from attorneys, even some title companies on national level now. It's pretty cool. Awesome.
So with that being said, what we're seeing in the market in general, and what happened back in 2000, I guess 7, 8, and that's where it spiked. With homeowners that are reaching out for help, what can your company do to help a homeowner right now who's finding themselves, we call it distressed homes, but basically who are at risk of making their payments? What are some of the options that you guys can help them with?
So I think right now we're actually getting a lot of phone calls from people that we've helped in the past regarding modifications, and I truly believe that the government, the news media did the best job that they could as far as alerting people what's going on versus really scaring the hell out of them. And I think people are under the misconception of, if you've been in trouble before, there might not be availability for programs that are out there to help you. They're offering, or they were talking about in the beginning, which was going back almost 7 months now, forbearance and deferment. Real quick, forbearance is where the payments would be pushed off until a later date. The deferment was where they were actually taking the payments and putting it on the back of their payment. So people were getting mixed up, and there's a lot of big banks right now that are going to get hit probably third quarter with massive fines because they're not elaborating, or they weren't elaborating correctly to homeowners that were in trouble, and they're holding people to the higher standards. These people that were on the phones are getting basically fined $10,000 a violation. So there are a lot of people in trouble. And beforehand, before the crisis and everything that's going on right now, we were helping people for modifications. Now we're basically just giving free advice to people because they just don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what's going on. They're in sheer panic. And I think it's important that people really understand what their options are. People laugh when I say this. My company is all about people before profit. And I think people should really find out what kind of trouble they're in versus just jumping into a modification and seeing they're qualifying. So if somebody's watching this and they want to get some free advice, we have no problem giving it out to people right now.
Awesome. And I just want to jump on that because there are people that are probably going to look at this and ask a couple questions. In forbearance, guys, just so you know, and deferment, there are, you do owe quarterly taxes. So that's something that your bank may not tell you. So be careful and make sure you ask the questions of what happens when my escrow accounts go to zero, and how are you going to collect that money if I take, a full quarter off, because that's another risk that we see. And something that happens, obviously if you're paying whatever, 12 grand, you don't want to owe 3 grand, as soon as you're done on top of your mortgage payment, because then the payment's going to go up another $1,000, which most people can't afford. So that's just a tip from me. But Matt, we're here to talk a little bit about this event. So why don't you share? You've done this before. Obviously, you did it live in the past. Share about what your live event was like and how you're going to kind of transition it into virtual for everybody so they can attend online.
So, look, this is uncharted territories, obviously, for myself. Anybody that knows me, I'm not really technical. We actually have another training session tonight. I actually hired somebody to help us run. We're going to be doing a Zoom call. And the purpose of it is that, people, I think, really enjoy the live events. We did a live event in Jersey, and we also did a live event down in Tampa, Florida. We were actually going to do one in Georgia, but we just got so inundated. I couldn't shut my company down for a week. It just didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. So, what's really important here is that the concept of the online boot camp is to put people in the right direction. And this is for people that might already consider themselves to be seasoned, short sale, specialists. Beginners are going to love it. Intermediate, they're going to love it. Even if you're advanced, you're going to love it because this is current information. This is the up-to-date information. We are going to be covering the information regarding COVID, and we're going to give a real behind-the-scenes look, pretty much based on conversations that we're having with contacts that we have in the bank, and how they're weeding out people that said they qualify for the forbearance, but the reality is now, because everything, I don't want to say is under control, but the tidal wave has kind of stopped the tsunami as far as what's been going on. So now they're going back, because before you could literally just call in and say, hey, I'm in trouble. I want to take advantage of COVID relief. But Matt, what's funny is that I was getting phone calls personally for people saying, hey, look, I see this stuff on the news, and, I see that I could qualify for forbearance or deferment. I'm like, well, what did your bank say? I didn't call my bank. Why didn't you call your bank?
Yeah.
Well, it was all over the news, so I just assumed they were helping everybody.
Yeah.
Those people actually drove themselves into foreclosure. Sad. Yeah. So you can't go back at a later date and say, oh, I didn't know, because those steps were pretty much put out there in social media and in the news. Reach out to your bank. So you can't really use the excuse of, oh, I didn't know, because they really did put that out there. So I really do feel bad for those people that ran into that. But the 23rd, this Friday, Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's all jam-packed information. And the information that we're going to be providing is all up-to-date information. Whereas if somebody hasn't done a short sale, let's say in 4 years, or before or after or sooner, whatever it is, we're giving up-to-date information right now as it applies and going forward into 2021. And I think that's important that people understand. What is this?
Yeah, it's a little testimonial from one of your clients in the past, Melissa. I know Melissa.
Right.
So.
I love that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. So that and we'll get into that too, Matt, because I want to talk to the realtors, out there to how this can help their business, kind of what I used to use it for on the real estate side.
Absolutely.
But all right, so it's this Friday. Anybody can get tickets on the websites that we have here, right?
Yeah, anybody can get tickets. I believe we still have availability with one of the codes. And if you want to type it in there, one of the codes.
Yep. After this thing's done, I'm gonna put.
Yeah, don't buy a ticket right now. Wait to the end and then buy a ticket and then use the code.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah. So, so at the event, how long is it, and what are the different segments going to be like, and what are some of the things you got going on Friday?
So the boot camp is just that. It's 3 hours, and it's going to be high intense information that we're going to be providing to people. I don't want anybody to panic. We're going to be providing the screenshots of the information that we're going to be providing. It's really pertinent information, stuff that's going to make a difference when you're approaching somebody that's in trouble or potentially that's in trouble. And, the fee itself is really nominal. It's the course of, it's like a late lunch, dinner with your spouse going out, but you'll have the information. It's information that is right now in the now that is working for 2020, going into 2021. And the information that we're going to be providing is, putting the packets together, how to converse with the sellers, the buyers, the agents, information regarding the banks, putting the packages together, making sure everything is done right the first time. And I want to step back and just say this for a second, because I think this is, in my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes that a real estate agent can do. They're looking at and they're focusing on one transaction, or they're focusing on one buyer, or they're focusing on one client. And you could look at it as looking in a forest, and they're looking at the one tree, but they're not really looking at the whole forest. You have to see the big picture here. And I think what people do when they do short sales is they try to control everything. And by doing that, you're actually hurting yourself and the amount of people that you can help. And that's why my company, Real Estate Recovery Group, has offered services since 2015 to help people on a national level. And I'm going to say it because, people are like, oh, don't talk about this. You don't have to take the boot camp. I don't care if you take the boot camp or not. But if you have a type A personality and you want to find out everything and sound like the professional that you really should be when you're going into people's houses, then you really should attend the event. If you don't really care to know about the nitty-gritty or the information that's going to get you the appointment over somebody else, and you're hoping and praying that talking to them over the telephone is going to get you the listing, then don't attend it. But if you want to be able to throw your hat in a ring, per se, and be able to speak intelligently, then this is something that you should attend. You definitely should attend, because there are so many people out there that are going to be in trouble. There's so many people out there that already are in trouble. Matt, we didn't know each other. We've only known each other about a year, not even a year yet.
Right.
You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
I asked you if you wanted to be, one of the vendor/speakers for the online event. You're like, send me the bill. You didn't even question it because you saw the value in it. I just want to switch gears for a second. What is it that you saw and what we're offering and my team offers that really made you turn the corner and want to jump on immediately?
Well, for me, when it comes to selling real estate, I always, sought out my trainers and experts in any form of selling real estate. So to me, when I, learned about it way back when, just to try to help investors find transactions, and then did some negotiations with banks myself. Then eventually, building a whole short sale group in my department, to help homeowners when there were so many. I kept finding that there were so many realtors with bad information for the homeowner, and I've, even I think probably more than a year ago now, but, I've turned down listings over the years just because, I told the homeowner the truth. I didn't need it for a sale sign in the yard. They needed to know that they had time. that their bank wasn't going to come lock them out of their house, because they're about to miss their mortgage payment. And I feel, that it's important, and some of the stuff that I'll cover, in my presentation on Friday will be, where to find people that are in distress, how to help them. You're not out there as a realtor trying to convert everybody to a listing. You're helping them find the answer. And if the answer is ultimately, hey, it doesn't make sense for us to keep this home. I can see the snowball's already grown so big, and it's just not going to get any smaller. We can't get out of this. It doesn't make financial sense to keep our home. Then you help them the right way. And there's a lot of knowledge, and me and you can talk and probably confuse everybody on conventional short sale versus FHA short sale and all the other stuff that I believe realtors should know before they sit at an appointment. So that's why, I felt, definitely I wouldn't mind sharing my knowledge because, I have that learner mentality of, I want to see people do the right thing instead of for sale signs in the yard. Countless times over the years, I've seen homeowners that were told by real estate professionals to move out of their homes and go pay rent somewhere while they could have been living for free for a year or two, and wasting money and still having to pay insurance on a vacant property and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, it's just, I want people to know the actual truth. And real estate law as well. You want to understand what's going to happen in the legal process in a foreclosure, so you can advise somebody and treat everybody like they're your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
If somebody's got time in their home, don't tell them we need to list this house right away. And that's one of the main reasons, because I can share my knowledge, my expertise, and some tools and some tricks, on how to grow your real estate business with this. Because, it's my opinion that it's coming back. Melissa mentioned it. They're probably going to come back. We're probably going to have some amount of fallout after this whole COVID thing is over next year, when people start getting really far behind in their payments.
Yeah.
If the banks don't want to help them out.
Yeah.
So that's why I jumped in without hesitation. So
I appreciate that. It's funny because it's really hard to find people that actually really care. You have a consulting company, which is really huge. I actually watched your video last night, and I was actually blown away by the amount of information that you gave to somebody. If somebody was to watch that video, really watch it. And there's a difference between watching it and viewing it and actually watching it and letting it soak up. I personally think that somebody should close themselves off in a room and they should really listen to what you have to say. That's 19 years of experience.
Yeah.
19 years of experience of somebody that understands how real estate works.
Yeah.
I think overall, and this is scary to say this, I don't think people understand the concept of, one, how a short sale works, and two, that there's two different variations of a short sale. There's a regular retail short sale, and then there's an investor short sale. And I talk about this all the time, and people think I'm nuts. But what gets people through the short sale process is the rules, regulations, and guidelines. And not too many people have picked up on this since I named my company Real Estate Recovery Group. Think about it. RRG, rules, regulations, and guidelines. That's RRG. Yeah. So nobody's ever really picked up on it. So there's a method to everything that I do, that I put out there. I could not do what I do without my team. My team makes me look amazing every single day. And there are issues that we come across with banks. I have to jump on some of these calls. It's scary. I see the notes that my team takes. Notating is enormous in this industry. And Matt, we get brought into some of these short sales that have been in the works for a couple of months, and we say, hey, can you send over to us, the notes on the file? And it's like a scratch of paper, and it has a couple of things on it, and that's it. I'm like, well, can you give us some information? Oh, it's all up in my head. Up in your head?
Yeah. We
need it on paper. God forbid you ever get audited, or if you ever get pulled into a lawsuit, which we've been asked a certified mail from real estate from attorneys asking us to provide a full accountability of what my company's done. So we put everything in there: text messages, call logs, times who spoke with, extensions. And we've helped people that have been in trouble dramatically because of the fact of the information that we provide. So if nothing else, Matt, on Friday, people are going to learn the right way to do short sales, the correct way, and be able to offer a correct service to someone. I'm not saying they have to do business with me, but at least for your own sake, for the people that you're trying to service, find out the right way of, how to work a short sale.
Yeah. And I'm going to, I guess we'll close it out. We're getting close to the end here, but I want people to understand too that when it comes to short sales, you're all risk, right? You're all risk, just like a realtor. You don't get paid unless you get the deal accepted. Is that true?
That's correct. We don't. That not only that, but if my company works to short sell, the real estate agents to get their full commission. So God bless. If the real estate agent makes, 10, 15, 20, 35, $40,000, that's their money. We get paid. We get compensated by the buyer who's purchasing the property, and it's 100% legal because everything is disclosed.
Yep. And so that's it, guys. Like, at the end of the day, if you have a listing and need help, reach out to Matt's company. They're experts at doing this and can help you get these properties negotiated and approved. And it's good to work with companies. I found over the years, it's good to work with professional people who have contacts at the banks, because they're talking to 100 banks every month, whereas, a small, newer person, new company, new attorney that wants to try short sales may not have those relationships built. So, you'll probably find faster answers by working with the experts. And that's something I always sought out. So Matt, any other comments for everybody who's checking this out?
Yeah, I mean, look, just to add to what you just said, Matt, which is really important, people find like, oh, I did this on a file, and I said this. Oh, I never said that, or I never brought that up. They don't realize there's a section inside each file, and it has platform notes. And those platform notes basically note how the conversation went. So if you are not a nice real estate agent and you're very disruptive on the phone, it's going to say something like, the real estate agent was very belligerent and didn't want to hear what I had to say and only wanted to hear the words coming out of their mouth. Everything that comes in, the majority of the time, is actually taped. So careful what you say, careful how you say it, and how you phrase things when you're talking to these people, because you can get a file shut down and a short sale basically flagged, and the transaction won't go through. We've been brought into files where we've had to actually undo what real estate agents did or didn't do, as far as a lack of better terms, or even attorneys' offices that didn't do what was correct as far as the procedures. And that's why I say all the time, rules, regulations, and guidelines. But Friday, for me, is going to be massive, because we're going to have this thing live. We're going to do live Q&A at the end. So I'm asking people, Matt, that if they want to come onto this thing and they want to be a part of it, I'm excited. But we are going to state in the beginning that everybody, if there's a topic that we talk about, write your question down and wait to the end when we're done, and then answer questions then, because we're doing it for 3 hours, and there's going to be a ton of content that's going to be relevant to what is going on right now going into 2021. You definitely should take advantage of it.
Absolutely, guys. And again, some of the stuff, for the realtors out there, right? What I share and what I'm going to share in my presentation is how to find, homeowners that are in distress, to be able to help them, what softwares to use to track and follow up with people that need help, and how to grow your real estate business. So if that resonates with you, definitely jump on, because it's going to be a great day. Matt, always great talking to you. We'll connect maybe after the event, see how everything went. And
Absolutely.
We'll put your contact info to the company in the bottom of this. We'll make a comment, and we'll get those codes up for everybody. So
yeah, put the codes up. So now if they want to do it, absolutely take advantage of it. I don't know how long those codes are going to work. And I hate to say sense of urgency, but now it's a sense of urgency because we are winding down on the tickets and we're only allowing a certain amount of people to come on.
Awesome, man. Yeah, because Zoom breaks after a certain amount. So,
Right.
So get your tickets now. Get on early if you're attending. Make sure your spot's in because you don't want Zoom to crash. Once these big events get too big, it starts breaking. So, Matt, always a pleasure. I'll be in touch.
Thanks, Matt.